Okay, we're live. Does somebody want to go through the recap?
See.
There's a lot to go through, especially if we're taking into consideration Peter.
So
Yeah, I know you don't have to go. You just go through the recap for last session, not necessarily the whole game.
You sent your nice recap, which I don't have open right now, so I'll go off of memory, and then we can fill it in. So we were being escorted. We started by we finished fighting some like zombie type creatures in the muck, and we found a mind flayer, and I believe it was a magical weapon. I think it was a mace or a sword.
A Morning Star.
Morning Star, that's it. And so then we got help from the Dryads to help clear a path towards the temple. So they kind of went ahead and were killing the zombies while we walked fairly peacefully. There was a moment where they asked us to wait for like 20 minutes because they ran into a snag. We decided to take their advice and wait rather than and get into a combat or potentially dangerous situation.
They were moving a shambling mound.
Ah, yes. So we eventually made it to the temple. The temple is sunk in. Looks like, and there were a few different options. There was a stair that went straight up, kind of a traditional ziggurat style to the top floor, as well as there were entrances kind of further down. We decided to go to the entrance that was further down. We went in and we were we were onset by creatures.
Intellect devourers.
Yeah, we were onset by intellect devourers. T-Hole was probably the only one that was really safe from them. So fortunately, nobody turned into a potato because there was certainly the possibility. We killed them. We ran into Amras, and he was sitting in a circle of blood, which is like a kind of a symbol, like a ritual symbol. He was telling us about Karahul, which is the mind flayer, and how he's his master. And he was very bent on us meeting the master because we could help the master. Obviously, we didn't want any part of that. We did find out that Karahul and the mind flayer we found, I don't remember its name, but they were Zakzab. They were madly in love, and well, as much love as a mind flayer can feel. And after Zakzab was killed by the magical Morning Star, Karahul he went mad, and he like just tortured a bunch of prisoners and only kept a couple as slaves or thralls. So it was I guess Karahul got hurt, but he's still very powerful. So Amras was said we should tread lightly. Or maybe that was the next character we met, which was
Fonat.
Fonat. So we ran into a pack of Quaggoths. There was one that was snarling at us. The others seemed apprehensive. T-Hole donned his magical ability to understand languages, and we started communicating with them. We learned that the one that was snarling at us hadn't yet been converted. However, the others hasn't been broken away, but the others have broken away from the control of Karahul. So we got onto Thonot was their leader, kind of the older kind of graybeard of the Quaggoth. We struck a deal where Thonot and them would help us get through if we could promise them peace and security, that nobody would bother the Quaggoth. So a lot of the information was actually, I think Thonot told us about where Karahul came from and his mental state.
Yeah.
So
then after that, Thonot agreed to lead you to the stairway down, as he believed that the mind flayer you were looking for and probably the dwarf would be in the level below. He didn't initially want to go downstairs with you because he seemed pretty sure you were going to be killed. But he did manage to lead you through the hallways through a passage that was less likely to get you affected by whatever mind-affecting power is emanating in the hallways, and led you into a chamber that had 5 sarcophagi in it, one of which was sealed. The others had been broken into a long time ago. You opened up the sealed one and found a magical gauntlet, and you were about to go down the stairs to the lower level. Thonot at that point had a change of heart and decided he would accompany you down there. You don't necessarily know to what extent he's going to, throw his life away trying to defend you, but he's willing to at least show you around in the lower level. And as we start, how long does your comprehend languages last?
That's a good question. Let me pull that up.
Probably like 10 minutes or something. Maybe an hour.
Yeah, I don't think it's very long. Let's see.
Duration 1 hour.
Okay.
Is there a way to move the characters around on the map?
I probably have you on the wrong map. So you're getting ready to go downstairs. Everybody make me a perception check.
When I say the characters, I mean like the people boxes.
Oh,
I don't
little
know.
boxes down at the bottom.
Yeah. Perception, you said?
Yep.
Perception, you say?
I have that skill.
That's the wrong one.
Hey. I see it. Whatever it is, I see it.
I got it.
I synced it.
So everyone but Lucirosi, as you're getting ready to go downstairs, you begin to hear the sound of, it almost sounds like water splashing against a wall. And then just a second later, you hear a much more distinct, heavier sound of splashing that seems to be coming from the hallway that you came through. As the sound grows louder, you see a form emerge. He's making almost no noise as he splashes through the water, but as he moves, water is hitting the walls of the chamber, and that's causing it to splash a bit more. Over his shoulder is slung a dryad with green hair. He looks as if he's running out of breath, and behind him you can see the hallway, although your torchlight does go into the hallway a little bit. You can see darkness seems to be gathering behind him, and a large form seems to be chasing not 10 feet beyond where he is. And you recognize the guy running in. He's Peter can describe the character.
So he is Hobgoblin. Where's my... All right. We got these. He's not very tall. He's about 5'4". He's got yellow eyes, reddish brown skin, black hair. Got some mud all over him. He's wearing cloaks. Seems to be a bit out of breath.
So we recognize him?
Yes, he is a member of your company. He was, as with Zarius, he was following a couple days behind, taking care of different company business, and was supposed to meet you in Watchtower. However, he is running full speed into the room at this point. And at this, you see a claw from the shadows behind him reach out.
Martin, T-Hole, he's gonna try to do a firebolt at the claw.
Yeah, everyone can roll initiative.
They can.
With my dark vision, can I see what it is?
You can see essentially the creature that's on the map that seems to have formed in the shadows itself, out of the shadows itself.
Okay.
Remember to click your icon, then initiative.
Oh, shit.
So that
Yeah. It's really a shame because I know if I click it now, it's just going to be a shit initiative.
Wait, you gotta click the icon. What icon? What do you mean?
Like your character on the
token.
screen.
Oh, okay.
Really? So the initiative I rolled doesn't count? The one time I roll a good initiative, it doesn't count?
Hey, I rolled even better. You
I
can.
mean, you can still use it. He has to put it in. You know, it like automatically works if you have your token selected and then click initiative.
I did have my token selected, but it didn't actually
You
add.
know what?
Well, I think it thinks you're the torch.
The human
Torch.
Okay. I don't know if mine worked, but I'll do it again. Hey, I got the same damn thing.
Just
banter
for
hub.
shits and giggles, now that I've clicked my character, I'm going to see what I roll for initiative. Guarantee it's like a 2.
You called it.
Yeah, it knows.
I thought the same was going to happen for me, but I mean, I rolled really well for that torch. So
That torch is definitely going first. Or second.
yeah.
Is mine not showing up still?
Hey, it's a continual flame torch. It can actually do damage.
It can't do damage.
Uh,
It's harmless fire.
Yeah, I'll just add you. But if you select your token, Peter, and then click initiative, it should put it on the thing automatically.
So when you mean select token, what the hell are you talking about?
I mean, click on the token so that you can
Your
see the
character.
bubbles above it.
Down on the map.
But I'll just add you in for this time.
Yeah, and I know I rolled well, but I'm going to go with the 3 because it seems like anytime I have low initiative, I crit with my
Are you talking
attacks.
about? You talking about the box or literally on the map?
Literally on the map.
On the map.
Okay, how do I see the map? Because I just have a big black screen.
Oh, you're probably like.
you're gonna zoom out a bit.
Like top
Yeah.
corner, yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yes. The quick way to zoom in and out, by the way, is to hit the Alt button, and then you can scroll with your mouse in and out. Or there's a little slider bar in the left-hand corner.
Let's do that.
Kajika.
Can we call you Kaji for short?
Kajika has wares.
So it is reaching out with its claw, and it is going to attempt to grapple Kajika. Roll for it.
Oh,
So give
boy.
me acrobatics, I guess, for Kajika.
All right.
It was nice knowing you.
So take
bender.
my character sheet and click on acrobatics.
Yep.
All right.
Hey.
You are grappled by this thing,
Great.
but that's a turn. Zarius.
Let's see. Not real sure what I could do right now. Does this thing look like it's been hurt at all?
Not that you can see.
I mean, I probably can't act. I mean, I could barely see his character, so I might have to move forward. Where's my torch? Come here. Can I move this direction? I can barely see the thing over there. How the hell is it squeezing through that space?
It's mostly made of shadow.
There we go. I cast Sacred Flame.
Is that a deck save?
Yes.
Oh, it failed.
Fail.
So you can see the flames shoot down, and amidst all the shadows that seem to be making up its otherwise sort of frog-like body, the burning away some of the mist as it goes.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Kajika.
I guess try to break the grapple.
Okay, acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
Oh, now I can see the thing. I zoomed in.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah.
You managed to break the grapple.
Okay. Can I burn key point and do flurry of blows?
You do that as part of an attack, I think.
Okay.
You can burn an action point to take another action, and then Fury of Blows.
Hell yeah. So
Oh man.
So
That's-
you get an attack, and then you can do flurry of blows.
okay. So blast him with my pistol.
Okay, if you do a shot at this range, well, it
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter, but it's not a crit because you're at disadvantage because it's right next to you.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, man.
Oh,
We're so disappointed. Everybody wanted to see that happen.
Okay.
At least he didn't misfire.
Yeah.
But you can also do your flurry of blows.
Okay, so that's 2 unarmed strikes.
Yep.
1, 2.
Both hit.
Okay, so he breaks the grapple, then you see him pull under his cloak. He pulls out a pistol and shoots him, and then hits him with the elbow, and then punches him.
And it's Hellweir's turn.
And I take out my great sword and swing away.
Okay.
How are you gonna fit?
I can get over there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move first.
I was like, get out of my way.
Who are you killing?
Yeah.
I just bowl through everybody. I'm just pushing through.
I mean, so like, how tall is this? Like, how tall are the ceilings? Like, because you're a giant, so
Yeah,
like,
in this particular tunnel, the ceilings are only about 7 feet tall, and these shadows are completely blocking the entire space.
okay.
But he could try to swing by Kajika.
This, my head was barely from the freaking ceiling then.
Yeah. So
So
I
you
hit?
swing, yes, you swing through, striking into the shadow that seems to recoil a bit, but you don't feel much resistance as your sword passes through it. So it doesn't feel like you hit a physical body.
I'll then go to headbutt it.
Okay. Again, you feel there's some recoil there, but it doesn't necessarily feel like you've struck anything solid. But it seems like it backs up a little bit.
Yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. T-Hole.
Well, I mean, so this shadow kind of blocks up the whole thing.
Yes.
Like the whole entrance. Would I be able to still shoot it with a fireball and not hit anybody? If it's kind of like if I aim like towards the ceiling.
A fireball or a firebolt?
Firebolt.
Yes, you can
Sorry.
definitely hit it with a firebolt.
So T-Hole will do that.
That definitely hits. You can see it does seem as if the mist evaporates a bit as you hit
it. T-Hole says, "Back, you fiend!"
And Lucharosi.
So the first thing Lucharosi will do is he'll call out to Kajika. Kajika, are you hurt?
I'm fine. Go ahead and kill this son of a bitch.
Well, you're kind of in the way.
Shoot around.
You know as well as anybody that I do not use shooting. So I'll move closer and hold my action for an opportunity when I can actually strike, since I can't get in there.
Okay.
'Cause I don't really have. Well, you know what? I do have one action that I can do. I will use my action to have. I'll point Salasri at the thing and ask for its blessing, and then it will shoot a light at the creature that seems to envelop everything in a fine glow. So I'm going to use my fairy fire ability.
Okay.
So
Charisma save. Am I correct? Or dexterity, I think.
Dex, I think.
Yeah.
is Dex. Let me check what the DC is. Is the DC just my DC, or does Salasri have its own DC?
It's, I forget what it's keyed off of.
I'm trying to look and see what it says.
Yeah, it's DC 13. Oh, it's where was it? Oh, we could just use your DC. It's here somewhere.
Okay. All right, so my spell DC is 14.
Okay. So you see the shadows begin to mix with bluish green light, making it much easier to see that there is a frog-like, although giant frog-like form that forms and unforms in the mist.
And then with that, since I can't really get in there, I'll use a bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
And then I'll put it as close to the thing as I can. Can I fit it in there?
I would say sure.
All right. So the spiritual weapon now has an appearance very similar to a elf wielding Salasri, which passes right through everybody else and goes to attack the creature. And that is going to be... Damn it.
Yeah, it does not hit it. Well, no, I'm sorry, it does you because you have advantage.
Oh,
Because of the
nice. Right.
fire.
Right. And 8 force damage to it.
And you can see it's beaten back more. A giant frog-like head forms and lashes out again at Kajika, biting him.
Oof.
And you're grappled again. So now the frog-like head is reaching out from the hallway and it's just wrapped around the head and one arm of Kajika.
Wow.
Do we recognize this thing?
You can give me an Arcana check.
Can everybody give you an Arcana check?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. Look at that.
I'm not proficient, so I'm not going to pretend like I might know it.
Same here.
Zarius, you would know that it's very similar to a Banderhob, although you've not heard of a Banderhob that is made of shadow. They do live in shadow and can jump between shadows.
Okay. I mean, and any clue to the radiance and the fire hitting it or anything like that?
I mean, you would guess it's somewhat resistant to physical attacks, but the magical attacks were probably affecting it.
Okay. Delightful. Is he done biting our friend?
Hold on just 1 second. Yes, it's Zarius's turn.
I shall cast Toll the Dead. Wisdom save. Fuck. God damn it. All right. Then I guess as a bonus action, I'll go ahead and use my own spiritual weapon. Should be able to put it down there somewhere around its face.
Sure.
Try and... I'm clicking on it, but it is not doing anything.
Because you gotta also click on the spell level.
Oh, here it is. It popped up behind it. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
I clicked that a bunch. Hold on.
Flurry of spiritual weapons attack.
I've done this so many times.
Because I popped my character sheet out, so... Oof. Man.
One of these days.
Because like it's still popping up. There we go. I'll just do one of them at least.
So you managed to hit it. Looks as if the darkness itself is shrinking away.
Delightful.
Kajika,
Let's see. Break the grapple. That would be.
you could use acrobatics.
I shall.
No, it still has you grappled.
All right.
I'll assume at this point you've dropped the dryad.
Yeah, I wouldn't want her to get hurt. So
Hellware.
So knowing my experience with ghosts, I pull out my hand axes and start swinging.
That's a crit.
Cool. And then I go again.
You get advantage on that?
He does because there's a fairy fire around it now. That's also a hit.
And also I'm going to use disarming attack on the Banderhob so it can drop Kajika. So it has to do a DC of 15 strength. Saving throw.
Okay, I will allow that. So you managed to break the grapple on him.
Nice.
And then I'm going to do a punch in the face.
Another crit.
Yep.
Hellway is just mad because he hates ghosts
He hates a lot of things.
and elves. Especially the elf which went through him with the Morning Star. He hates that the most.
I can't imagine what he feels like. How he feels about ghostly elves.
He knows ghostly elves all too well at this point. So you notice that when you swing with your axes, even though they're just hitting the same wispy darkness, do feel like they hit something solid. Your punch finds some resistance, but it doesn't feel substantial. And it's T-Hole's turn.
Teal's going to do a magic missile at him.
Okay.
I'm going to cast it at the second level.
It didn't give you your extra missile, I don't think.
That's weird.
The three.
is that the total though?
Well, yeah, it rolled 3d4 plus 3, so that's like the normal first level magic missile.
Oh.
So you get added another d4 plus 1.
Okay, I'll just roll it.
Yeah, it's faster.
Oh.
Well, it's 2d4
That's
plus 1.
2d4 there.
Alright.
You go.
There you go.
So 14 damage.
So you see the missiles all seem as if they strike something solid, almost pushing the creature back, it seems. But you realize it's just the mass of the creature is disappearing as you're attacking it. Lucia Rosie.
All right. I am going to move here, try and get on top of the sarcophagus, and try and move in to grab the dryad and pull her out.
Okay, that you can easily do.
All right. And so I would try to, before I do that, I ask Kajika, Kajika, are you hurt? Do you need help?
I'm never better. Just keep fighting.
All right. So then I'll pull her out. I'll try and pull her over maybe towards here if I can get the movement. And then continue with my spiritual weapon attack.
Oh yeah, I guess for Peter's sake, my spiritual weapon looks like a scythe.
Cool.
Your spiritual weapon rings out as it beats at this shadow creature.
Get it, Salasri.
And as just as the spiritual weapon rings into it, you see the creature seems to fade.
Like completely?
Yes.
All right. Does anyone know what that thing was?
Some sort of shadowy Vanderhob.
I've not heard of such a creature.
Whatever it was a nasty son of a bitch.
Kajika, it took you long enough to join us.
Well, I was supposed to meet a certain group in Watchtower, but there was nobody there.
Yeah. Our not so humble king, emperor, whatever he's calling himself these days, got us into some trouble there. We had to leave quite quickly.
Yes, he wasn't very.
I think you misremember. It was not I, the T-Hole the Great, that got us in trouble. It was Helweir's love of elf ears that definitely stirred the pot, if you will.
Yes, he
Yeah.
seemed quite interested.
Well,
It has been a long
T-Hole,
time.
you didn't help the situation much either.
T-Hole knows nothing but help.
I'm gonna examine this dryad for injuries. Does she seem to be okay?
She looks as if she has been beaten unconscious.
Is this
Kajika,
your
is this you're doing?
I didn't
Yeah.
touch her.
All right. I'll spend a couple of healing hands points, lay on hands. I'll give her 4. Give me an even 25 left.
Okay, you give her 4 points, and her eyes slowly open. And she scowls. She clearly doesn't know where she is. What happened? We were running.
Does this one look familiar by chance? Have we seen?
Yeah, it's one of the 2 that you saved.
How did you get down here?
We know how she got down here. Why don't we ask the one carrying her?
We were running from a creature. We ran towards the temple. I knew you were here. I think I got hit.
That
Well,
is a safe assumption.
What is this
Kajika,
one worth,
whatever.
Kajika?
She's not for sale.
To the
I'm
right
going to-
person, she is.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm not hearing this, Helweir. And then I'll look down at the druid. Don't worry, we seem to have beaten back the creature, at least for now. You should be safe with us.
She looks around again as she stands up. Well, I can't stay in here. This is unnatural.
It is probably safer to stay with us.
Is the exit nearby?
The temple is guarded. It will affect your mind.
Then I guess I should stay with you.
By the way, Peter, for your benefit, the Lucerosi is a big, heavily armed paladin of Asheros who has the head of a lion and iridescently colored silver fur.
He's also super uptight about his religion.
Yes. We've been having discussions in corridors.
Yeah, and you've typically known Lucirosi to fight with his fists, which, when he becomes engaged in battle, grow to be 5 times their normal size. But now you see that he is wielding a nice morning star with gold inlay and various designs all over it.
Apparently, Asheros pays pretty well.
He places blessings upon those who are faithful.
Or grabs the loot of dead corpses.
Teal's gonna start picking through the corpse of this thing if it has anything.
You don't see anything left over. There are no remains of any kind.
Interesting. This thing seems to have been spanning 2 realms, where we did in fact hit something.
One of you arcane types know if we killed it or if it just vanished.
Do I know that? Can I do like can I cast like detect magic?
You're the emperor. You can do damn well anything you want.
Oh, I know. So T-Hole's wearing a crown.
Yes, he is wearing a crown.
He's wearing a crown. You haven't seen this crown before. So it has been picked up in our travels.
I feel like you must have worn a crown at some point. This is a new crown.
Yes, this is my new crown. This crown symbolizes my rightful lordship over Alcator, a town which was bereft of the much needed emperor.
I would say anybody who wants to can make one or either an insight check or an arcana check.
Is this the same Alcator that was a big burning, shambling mess?
Yes, the very same.
Well, aren't you
Unfortunately.
lucky?
See what happens when the king is not present. Bad things.
It also tends to happen when you have creatures of darkness and enslaved Quagoth hunting elves.
So the sense you all get, apparently, except for Hellweir, who doesn't care, is that probably given the beating the creature took, you think maybe it just took the opportunity to slip away.
Well, we may see that again. Let us hurry.
Yes, we should get on with our task. Kajika, we'll catch you up along the way.
And Thonot says to he just assume that he's only really speaking to T-Hole because he doesn't want to speak in broken common. There are elf slaves on this level in a holding cell. If the creature is still around, it may try to eat them.
Wait, did we go down the stairs?
No, you stopped in this room.
Okay. Where are the slaves located?
There's a room on the far side of this wall. It's locked. One of the thought stones is in there. It tends to keep the slaves docile.
Who is this?
This is Thonot, a large. Yes, it's a Quagoth.
And
We
he's
can't
helping.
understand him.
He's helping us.
Yeah, he's just as near as you could tell. You could tell he's speaking a language. He's not just growling, but he's speaking in a language that you don't speak to T-Hole.
T-Hole turns to the group and says, apparently there are some slaves nearby that this monster could go and infect. Would you prefer that we save the slaves or that we continue on and go to the lower level?
You're saying this to Thonot?
I'm saying this to the group.
Okay.
We should find some way to protect the slaves. We do not want them to be without any kind of defense.
They are better off dead.
Hell, we are all elves to you are better off dead, but that is not our way.
Yeah, nobody told me anything about no elven slaves.
Well, these are not so much slaves as elves that have been kidnapped from Elkitor. Probably other places nearby.
Those fairy folk might make some good money. We should actually keep them safe.
My only concern is whether or not if the creature is on to us now that we're here, if the slaves could be used to hinder us if we continue on without dealing with them. I mean, there is a mind flare here, and those bastards will do anything. Never underestimate them.
Zarius would look to the Quaggoth and ask him, that creature, is it the one that we had to sneak past?
T-Hole growls that and his
Well, he can
language.
understand me, but
Oh, I guess yeah, that's true.
Right, yeah, comprehend languages wouldn't let you speak to it either. It just lets you
well, it
understand.
knows common, just not very well.
Right.
T-Hole might be trying to pick up the language.
Thonot, you can see Thonot he has to process what you're saying. And so it's possible you might say something to him and he might not understand some of the words you're using. Those are all relatively simple, so it just takes him a couple seconds. And two, he looks at you in the eye and says in his broken common, "No, this is a swamp creature. It lives outside. It takes food."
So, Kajika, did this thing follow you all the way into here, this deep into the structure?
Yeah, apparently so.
And the Dryad says, well, we fled quite a distance. I was jumping between the trees with Kajika, and it was jumping between the shadows behind us most of the way. When we got to the temple, somehow it managed to find us and catch up.
Oh, it can jump through shadow?
Yes, it moves from shadow to shadow.
That would explain its speed and the ease with which it probably made its way through here.
Well, these slaves, they were on this level or the one below?
This level. I believe they are back up the path. Back the way we came a little bit.
It is dangerous.
I have something that could perhaps be helpful.
Prayers won't work,
What?
Shiroshi. Not in this.
Prayers are exactly what works to give me strength. Anyways, Zarius, you seem to know this creature, at least to some degree. If I were to cast a spell of holy light, would that keep the creature at bay?
What spell are we talking about?
Daylight.
The torch is not
Torch.
performing well.
That's why it was specifically a spell of holy light.
Actually, I'm sorry. The torch has a +2 on its performance check. It's a
Ooh.
torch.
It is. I don't know.
All right,
What do
looking
I get
up-
a sense here?
yeah,
I mean,
looking up, you would know. Like I said, this is a somewhat unusual thing because it seemed to be almost made of the shadow. A typical Banderhob can leap between shadows and can move between them, and is virtually invisible within the shadows. But they can emerge into the light.
yeah, that's what I figured. I do not think it would keep it away. It is only at home in the shadows, but it is not. It is still dangerous in the light.
It's not repelled by the light.
What do we know? I wasn't. Does T-Hole know anything about Banderhobs?
What did you roll on your Arcana check?
Not well.
I think you rolled a 10.
I mean, I didn't recognize it as a Banderhob, but like after Zarius has like said, "Oh, it's a Banderhob," or like a Banderhob.
Okay. You can re-roll. I guess re-roll with disadvantage since you didn't recognize it the first time.
It is Banderhob adjacent.
So, yeah, you would know. You would know a little bit about them.
Okay.
Like you would know that they tend to come into the world when they're summoned by hags, and they're very good at tracking down the people they want to kill.
Okay. We may be dealing with somebody who's after us. Besides, perhaps it's the Mind Flayer. It would be just like him to send something after us.
Okay.
Perhaps we should just continue and root out the problem, and then we could save the prisoners afterwards.
Or collect their ears.
That is my worry. That is my worry. I do not want to deal with this creature that has kidnapped all of these elves, only to find that all of our efforts were for naught. We are here to save people, not to just simply exterminate creatures of darkness.
Either way, it does not matter. If it is their time to die, then they will die.
We are here to find Holbein.
I do not accept that. And no, we're not here to find Holbein. Currently, we are here to free the elves of Elkitor and destroy this creature, what was his name again?
Carol.
Yes, Karahul.
If anything, I'm here to thank him.
The first of which, saving the elves of Elkitor won't do any good if Karahul still lives, because even if we do manage to free them, they will be defenseless in the swamp, and they will be subject to Karahul's thralls.
I am not saying that we free them. They couldn't be freed anyways because of these thought stones that are keeping them penned. But we cannot just leave them to the hunger of this shadow creature that we just fended off.
I think Carahul is trying to distract us. That's the way of mind flayers, those sneaky bastards.
Well, unfortunately, in this circumstance, it may be working because I cannot accept just allowing innocent people to die.
We have no guarantee that they will die.
Innocent people die every day. There's nothing you can do about it.
No, there is something I can do about it, and that is why I'm arguing the point. Do not lecture me, T-Hole, on life and death. I'm very well aware. But that does not mean that it is but it is still the noble path to try.
As you wish.
You've been silent on this matter. Do you also think that we should just leave these people to die?
Who are you asking? You asking me? I didn't hear it. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I turned to you and I asked, do you think it is okay for to leave these people to die?
I was just wondering how you even left Watchtower with all this arguing going on. Surprised you even went anywhere.
We didn't get far.
It has been endlessly infuriating, Khajiit.
Well, I say we do something and make a decision. There's killing to be done, and I plan on doing it.
We need to at least make sure that the elves have some kind of defense against this creature if we cannot kill it. Besides, Carahul is currently injured. Even this Quagoth here is able to fend off the psychic control that it held over him. He has said, or at least T-Hole has informed us that he is addled. He may be a danger and a threat, but right now, the more important thing to deal with seems the thing that is going to readily eat these people should we not intervene.
Well, fine. Let's find a way to deactivate these thought stones, and then the people will be able to fend for themselves. I am against fighting, rooting around these tunnels for this creature that can jump between shadows. I think is a fool's errand, but at least we can give the people enough faculty to deal with it on their own.
Or we can hear them. We could hear them screaming down the corridors. That would be just as good.
Helwyr, you are so lucky you have a purpose in this world. Otherwise, I would very greatly consider ending it.
Zarius is scowling at the thought of having to traverse back through those fucking tunnels.
With your gimp leg.
Oh, yeah. If there's so much concern, we could split up.
This is an even more unwise decision.
I agree.
If anything, these thought stones, whichever they are, might be granting him additional power. Destroying or deactivating them could be a useful move. So let us get it over with.
Lusharosi will look at the Quagoth and ask, can the thought stones be destroyed?
T-Hole tries to growl. And what he thinks is that translation.
He thinks about it for a bit, and rather than address Lusharosi directly, looks back at T-Hole and says, the thought stones are the smaller thought stones in the corridors can be broken easily enough. The thought stones in the chambers are much larger and much more resistant to being damaged. I don't know if you possess the power to break them.
Where is the nearest chamber?
It would be the one through the wall where the prisoners are being kept.
When you say through the wall, is it like the wall to T-Hole's right?
I don't know which way you're pointing. He's pointing to the wall to the east of you. Or no, I'm sorry, to the wall to the west of you.
Okay.
Further down.
Yeah, to T-Hole's right.
Okay.
On the side with the 3 empty sarcophagi.
Thonot says that we could probably break the ones in the corridors, but the ones in the chambers are much stronger, and he's not sure if we have enough power to break them.
Perhaps we don't, but with Asheros's blessing, I'm sure we can find a way.
T-Hole sighs and says, fine. Let's get on with it. Does T-Hole know anything about thought stones? Or does anybody know anything about thought stones? Like, are these things that would be typically in Mind Flayer's possession?
You're not really sure what he means by thought stones.
Okay, so it's colloquial.
It's not a precise thing. It's what he and his people have been calling them.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's deactivate these thought stones.
Let's go.
Are you going to be okay, Zarius?
Only time will tell. As I said before, if it is one's time to die, then it is one's time to die. I will accept that.
Zarius, I certainly hope that there is not a creature looming at your back and you feel the same way when I could intervene and save you.
So you can feel free to move yourselves on the map.
All right, so we're moving this way.
Yeah, that's the only way out of the room.
I beg to differ.
T-Hole is going to actually kind of take up the rear. Because it usually has been a bad idea when he's been at the front.
Yeah, I'm fine with taking point. Especially since I have dark vision and now my improved dark vision. Okay, so which way from here?
It should be off to the right.
So you are once again making your way through the flooded corridor. There's about 5 or 6 feet of water.
Oh, there's these stones here in this wall.
Right. As you get up here, you can see that there is a gemstone embedded in the wall that appears to be flickering. The light is very dim to begin with, but it's not steady. Some of the other ones you've seen other flickering stones, and you've also seen stones that did seem to have a steady light.
Is this a door right here?
It is, and you can see that this particular door appears to be made of metal. It's substantially rusted at the bottom. It's also locked from the outside.
When we say that we see stones, are there like countless stones?
The stones, I mean, you can see sometimes the occasional flicker of light as there's like some quartz in the wall. But these are gemstones that appear to have been carefully fitted into the wall and then smoothed over. So they're, other than the fact that they're glowing, you might have missed them, but they're a slightly different color. At present, I mean, only the people who have torches can actually see in color. The people who have dark vision just see it as a slightly dark spot.
Not
In
me.
color, you can see that they're actually red.
Okay.
Can I strike one?
Yes, you can.
I'd like to. Take my staff and just hit it, I guess. Yeah, I don't have the melee of my staff on here. But it would just be +6, so I'll just do this. I don't actually activate the staff head. I just hit it with the other end.
Okay, so you strike it. You're not sure how hard it would be to damage it in the wall. It might take a lot of beating to actually do it serious damage because it's embedded in the rest of the stone.
Mm. No reaction otherwise then.
No, not that you saw.
So can I use my thieves' tools to try and pick this lock?
Actually, the door is locked from the outside, so you can just unlock it.
Oh, it's just a normal like latch or something.
Yeah, it's essentially a bar that's holding the door closed.
Okay. Before we get there, one thing I want to try, because there's one of those stones right here, right?
Yes.
So can I use my thieves' tools to try and pry it out of the wall, perhaps?
You can try. It'll be hard because there's no edge to it.
Oh,
Start
okay.
chipping away.
Can I do it in a way where I would not damage my thieves' tools?
Yeah, I don't think you would damage them. It's just getting it out might be difficult.
Here,
Okay.
use this. And I hand you my crowbar.
I don't know that there's enough of an edge to force the crowbar into.
Well, isn't that interesting? Apparently, Asheros hands out thieves' tools too.
Asheros does not hand out thieves' tools, but a paladin of Asheros needs to acquire many skills in his journeys. So, to try it with the thieves' tools, what stat would I use?
It would be strength.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to budge.
Okay. All right. Well, it seems that we can't get these stones out of the wall. Perhaps we can figure out something else. And so I'll open the door then.
So you open the door. The water inside is noticeably blacker and there seems to be some sort of mold or something growing in it, some perhaps algae or slime that begins to pour out the door as you open it up and swirl around you. The only light in the room is coming from a glowing green crystal on a pedestal in the center of the room. It's sticking above the surface of the water. As your eyes, as you look around the room, you can see right in front of you there is the dead body of an elf face up. It appears to be Askas, who you met briefly in the village. He appears to be quite dead and drowned. Two other bodies are floating in the center of the room near the crystal. Let me get rid of this one thing. And then you see in one corner there are 4 elves that are huddled that are just muttering to themselves. Some of them are weeping quietly, but they appear to otherwise take no notice of you.
Do we see any cause for the death of the elves that are currently dead?
Not immediately, no.
Teal is going to walk into the room and he's going to walk up to this crystal, and I'm going to cast Identify on it to see if I can learn what this crystal is.
Is there any high ground in this room?
The water gets less shallow as you move towards the east, but the water is still about 2 feet deep, even at the shallowest. Towards the back of the room, you can now see there's a stairwell that goes up into the darkness.
I'm going to examine this body right here at the door, basically. Hey, give me my torch back.
Are you casting Identify as a ritual or using a spell slot?
Using a spell slot. Because the ritual is like 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
So, I'm going to just stand between Helweir and the elves.
Where did the torch go?
You can now see, by the way, the four who are huddled in here are 2 elves, Ascus and Orowinos, the fishermen from the village. You also see the half-elves, Hector and Pallas. But they really don't appear to be responding to you being in the room. They appear to just be lost in their own despair. Okay, T-Hole, make me... never mind. I was misremembering something. So you cast the spell. You get the sense that, first of all, this stone is very, very old. And it is here specifically to imprint on everyone near it a feeling of despair and hopelessness. But it's not magical in the sense that you're used to things being magical.
Is it like an unknown feeling?
To you, it would be unknown, but from a pure meta mechanics thing, it's a psionic resonance stone.
Gotcha. Let's see. I wouldn't know any way to stop it from doing that.
No, you imagine that if you could break it, I mean, possibly if you put it like in an anti-magic field, that might block it. But because it's not magic, it's a little bit alien to you.
Gotcha. This thing is not, this stone is not magical. It appears to be some force that even myself, as great as I am unfamiliar with. So T-Hole's gonna take this, and he's gonna pick it up. Can I pick it up?
It appears to be fused into the floor. It would also be pretty heavy. I mean, it's to call it a crystal is a little underselling it because it extends up from the floor about 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
And it's probably about 1 foot diameter. So you would guess it would probably weigh like 100 pounds if you broke it free.
Gotcha.
And that's assuming it ends like right at the level of the floor.
This thing is a crystal that causes despair. If we move the prisoners out of here, perhaps they'll shake free. In fact, all of these crystals in the hallways probably even do the same thing. This whole damn place probably causes despair. Stupid mind flayers.
So it's like living in Alcator.
I mean, we have already felt the effects of it trying to creep into our minds.
Yeah, this is probably the center of it, or some beacon of it.
We shouldn't be in this water longer than we should as well. There are fish about.
I'm sure you're not afraid of a couple of fish. Yeah, that's right. Can I say like a prayer to Akros and maybe get idea of some way that might be effective? Because I know that if we bring the people with us, if we just leave them outside, we're not really doing them anything that is going to set them up to be protected. We can't really take them with us to face a mind flare. So Lushrosi recognizes this. So there's.
So you,
yeah.
what are you hoping to get from the prayer?
I don't know, just maybe some idea.
You think?
Because now I'm gonna be honest, Lushrosi is now feeling pretty stupid. Being here with everybody.
Your God will just answer anybody with a $2 prayer book, man.
I mean,
so I would say you're pretty sure that if you just say a prayer, you're not going to get an answer because that's just not how prayers work.
Yeah.
That could be the answer, though.
Right. The answer could be figure it out for yourself. And then if you want to say a prayer and spend an action point, I can offer some alternatives.
Yeah, I'll spend an action point for that.
So you say a prayer and you get the sort of expected, if disappointing, no response to it when the dryad enters the room and says, if you can lead these 4 outside, I can travel with them from tree to tree and get them to safety.
Oh, that would be very helpful. All right. What? I'm hesitant to ask, but what do my companions feel about this?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to examine a body. The one that was by the door was dead?
Oh, yeah. The 3 of the body people in here are dead.
Yeah, I was examining the one right next to the door.
What is 23? I'm sorry. I didn't realize I didn't hear that's what you were doing.
Sorry.
He clearly just drowned. The water's not so deep that he should have drowned.
Sure.
But you could see he was clawing at the door at some point, and just went under the water and didn't come back up.
Okay. Any signs of any other struggle then?
On him, it appears as though there's been some struggle, but it doesn't look like any of those wounds killed him.
Right. Of course, he was probably dragged to this place. It's probably difficult to determine if he was held under the water or not.
Right. You don't see any signs that he was held under.
Maybe he just pulled an Artax and just died in the swamp of sadness.
The other people are so almost catatonic, other than some weeping and the occasional soft sob. You're not sure if they fell over into the water, if they would get back up.
Well, are these prisoners in it? Are these prisoners in shape to actually leave?
Zarius can now see, given where he is in the room, there appear to be the water seems to end as you go up the stairs towards the south side of the room, but it appears as though there are skeletons on the landing at the top of the stairs.
There are skeletons.
Sorry, what were you saying, T-Hole?
Said, are these people are they in any shape to actually leave?
They appear to be a little bit banged up and injured, so they're not at full health. Are they in shape to leave? It's not necessarily. They're not responding to you, so you might be able to lead them, as in get them to walk, but get them to defend themselves.
We should just push them into the water and let it be done.
No, Hellweir, we do not take that path. The righteous one is the one that is not easy.
If it's the path that's not easy, we just hand them a weapon and they can fight alongside of us.
They don't appear like they will be fighting much.
Well, they won't live very long, will they?
Let's
Yeah.
check upstairs to see if there's any others in this chamber.
Well, and now everybody but Thonot and T-Hole can make me an intelligence save. And Kajika, I guess, since you're not in the room.
Yeah, I'm guarding the outside because I know these guys will just go in here and argue all the time and won't cover the rear, so that's why I'm there.
Intelligence save, you said?
Yep.
Oh, do I have to do the same?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
So Zarius, you have to make one as well.
No, I don't wanna.
I don't want to be a pirate.
Ah, shit.
Actually, you come closer to any of them to beginning to feel as if you're doomed and you should just sit down here and die. But you managed to push it off. It's a different feeling than you felt in the hallway, though, as that was more of a feeling of panic.
Right.
This is hopelessness.
Mm. We should not linger in this room. I'll call up those stairs just to, maybe there's somebody up there. And yeah, I don't know. Just a little bit forward.
You call up the stairs, getting closer. You can see these two skeletons in tattered clothing. From what you can see, they were maybe not elves. They both seem to have short swords on them, rusted out short swords. But all you hear back is an echo.
Okay.
Zarius, I can take the lead if you would like to stay back a bit in case there's danger ahead.
It does not matter. Now we'll go forward. Do these skeletons jump up to get me?
They do not jump up to get you.
Okay, cool.
But make me a medicine check.
Sure. Pretty good at those.
You, from the positioning of the bodies and where the blades are, you're pretty sure they killed each other.
I believe these two were fighting each other.
And you can see there's a spiral staircase going up off to the east of you.
There's a spiral staircase.
So T-Hole and Hellweir, what are you doing?
The room stinks, so I go outside of the room.
Okay. What are you doing, T-Hole? Or are you still away?
I'm here. You can hear me, right?
Yep.
All right. I'm not sure. So, I mean, I can't move the stone. It's clearly rooted. The prisoners kind of just seem beyond help to T-Hole, so he's probably not going to try to. He probably wouldn't try to do anything with them. He'd probably just follow and just kind of take up the rear behind Lucirosi and Zarius.
Okay.
Ask the Quagoth if he knows what is up these stairs.
So actually, I do have a question. I turn to the Quagoth and say, "Do you feel the effects of the stone in this room?"
He says back to you, "The thought stone doesn't affect me. I have centered my mind to protect myself from these effects."
How can is that something anybody can do?
With years of practice, possibly.
Well, that's not going to help these prisoners.
No, they will be in this state for many hours.
Do you know?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you know what's up these stairs?
We do not use this stairwell. I believe it takes you to the upper entrance to the pyramid.
T-Hole relays that information.
I do not believe this will be a useful path for us.
If it leads to another entrance, then why would it not?
It is only the higher entrance, the one that we did not take.
Yes, but this is more of a ziggurat than a pyramid. There should be ways for them to find their way out. And the
This is
Dryad
true.
here can help them once we get them out.
The Dryad, I mean, I assume you're communicating what Thonot said.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
I relayed that information.
The Dryad says, if this is the way out, then if those people can be led, I can take them from tree to tree to the edge of the swamp to at least relative safety.
We heard you the first time. But
Dryad,
the
Dryad, what
question
is-
is, can these people be let out? They don't seem like they're much able to move.
Oh, I can properly motivate him if that's the case.
Okay, Bruce Wayne.
Uh,
Or, not Bruce Wayne, whatever.
Dryad, what is your name?
Is her name?
What shall I call you?
Goldberry.
Yeah, I've lost her name, so we'll go with Goldberry for now.
All right, Goldberry, are you healthy enough for the trip?
I am weak, but few creatures can catch me when I'm teleporting between trees.
Would it be helpful if I could tend to your wounds a bit more?
I will actually just do first level cure wounds, and I didn't apparently only do 2 life. No, that can't be right. It should be more than that.
You should at least get your wisdom bonus.
Plus wisdom, which would be 4, so 6.
Oh, awesome.
I'm confident I can lead them out.
All right. So I'll go and try and lead one of them towards the entrance. How do they react when I take one of their hands?
When you take their hands and try to get them to stand, the first one stands up.
Okay. So then I'll try and I think that's probably going to be easiest to just go one at a time. So I'll bring one person over closer to here. Do they follow?
Yes, he basically just, you leading them by the hand, comes over with you.
All right. And then if I let go of his hand, what does he do?
She just continues to stand.
All right, perfect. So unless anybody else wants to help, I'll repeat that process multiple times.
So you get them all over to where you are.
All right. How about if I put one of their hands into the hand of somebody else, what do they do?
They don't seem to be having a grip, but the Dryad gets what you're trying to do and gets in the middle of them and takes 2 hands at once in hers and just starts nudging them around so that they will all move with her.
Oh, perfect. All right. Alrighty.
I pull out my pistol and raise it to the ceiling as I stand behind them.
I do not think that will help.
And she leads them around and up the stairs. And then slowly over to the stairwell. And then
Are we going? Is anybody going with her to actually make sure that this is an entrance, or goes out to that exit?
I mean, if you'd like to, go ahead.
Yeah, I would want to make sure that at least they get to daylight before anybody leaves them.
So she's
Okay.
going up the stairs in the room.
yes, she's going up the stairs in the south part of the room. Okay, so Lucia Rossi, you're essentially amidst their group. So make me an intelligence save.
Dun dun dun.
So there is a very subtle flash as one of them puts their foot onto the stairwell. And it washes over you, and you're basically fine. The four people are still not responsive, but you can see the Dryad's demeanor has changed as she drops all of their hands. And you just see a combination of fear and rage in her eyes as she looks around. And I guess I'll move you here. She starts to push past you and back into the room.
I'm going to try and touch her and cast protection from evil and good to see if that has any impact. That seemed to work before with somebody being mentally controlled.
Okay.
Does that do anything?
It does not, unfortunately.
Would it do anything if I use an action point?
Not in this case. But you can see once she sort of pushes past you, she's actually not going back into the room. She bends over and picks up one of the rusty short swords
God damn it.
and turns to face you.
Did we hear this?
I mean, nobody's really said anything, so you can hear them moving, but you could hear them moving before. You see her pick up a short sword, but she's far enough away from you that you don't necessarily see that she's mad about something.
Okay, so I see her pick up the short sword. I'll cast Hold Person on her then.
Okay.
Because I don't want her to hurt herself or anybody else.
What's the saving throw?
Especially with what hold on. Especially with what Zarius said about the people at the base having killed themselves. DC would be 14.
I just imagining, I see her pick up a sword like, oh, smart, bring protection. Yes.
And that's wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's just stood up and spun around and has a look of hatred in her eyes, but you've frozen her in place.
All right. So I'm going to call out to the others. There seems to be some kind of mental command to aggression with this entrance. Can I take some rope and tie her up so that even if she breaks the spell, that she'll still be restrained?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So then I'll call to the others. I need some help guiding everybody out of this mess.
Can I cast Dispel Magic on her?
Yes, you can do that.
Then I shall.
And as soon as you do that, you can see the hatred leaves her eyes and she drops the long sword, or the short sword rather, saying, I don't understand what came over me. I was so sure you were all my enemies.
It's okay. This place, it does something to people's minds. That's why these people are the way that they are.
What caused this?
Did I notice a flash?
Yeah, you noticed a flash.
Okay. Did I see exactly where it happened?
It didn't necessarily appear in one spot. It appeared in the entire stairwell, including the stairs leading to the hallway leading down into the water. But it did appear to happen when the first of the group put their foot on the stairwell going up.
Okay.
Is there?
And
sorry, go
was
on.
the first person then Goldberry?
No, it was one of the catatonic people.
Okay, but it didn't seem to affect the catatonic people.
No, they still appear to be just as catatonic.
Is there? Does D-Hole notice like any runes or markings around this area?
Give me an investigation check. Yeah, it's searching around. You're sure that there is a magical trap. This is an actual magical trap, unlike the stone, on the stairwell itself, so that as you pass either way through the threshold of the spiral staircase, I'll just say it's almost as if enemies abound.
Okay.
So the spell gets cast on the area so that everyone might begin to think that everyone around them is an enemy.
Mm.
That said, you're pretty sure it's been triggered, and while it will reset itself, it's not going to go off again, at least for some period of time.
Well, I relay that there's a magical trap here, and I don't necessarily have the means to disarm it, although we should be safe for some time. However, if we do go up and lead them out of the door, then we'll have to come back through this.
You would know, I'll say with the 23, it's an hour. After about an hour or so, it'll reset.
Okay, so unless we can disable. Well, Zarius here might be able to take care of this trap, but unfortunately, I and all my great power cannot take care of it.
I will not do it yet.
All right. If it will take an hour, I don't think that there's much need to. Let's just try to be quick and lead these people out.
Okay. So I guess we'll go up to the first floor. Try to shuffle the catatonic people along.
Yeah.
So who all's going up?
Shirosi.
Nah.
Oh, we're bringing up the real, making sure that Bebelith or whatever it is doesn't come back.
So you lead them all up. You can see there are more carvings here that appear to be more history of the temple. But you don't run into any other trouble getting them up to the top. You emerge, the stairwell is exceedingly long. It's probably about a 45 or 50-foot climb to get to the top. But you emerge inside what appears to be a ceremonial chamber. The most notable thing in it, apart from additional carvings, is that there is a large brazier in the middle of this thing that probably was once for ceremonial purposes burning something. It has since sat dormant for probably several hundred years. But just beyond an archway in this room, you can see the dark night of the swamp again.
Perfect. All right, Goldberry, good luck. Be safe.
Good luck to you. Seek us out when you're emerged from the temple again.
At some point, hopefully, we shall have the opportunity.
Yes, if we live this long. But it's hard to kill an emperor. I should know. So we'll be okay.
So she
All right.
begins to lead them down the series of ramps to get to the base of the temple again.
All right. That's good enough for Lushirosi. So he'll turn to his companions. All right, shall we once more seek this Karahul?
Yes. Let us get on with it. So we'll go back down the stairs and head back to where Zarius and Helwyr are.
So, Helwyr, you were in this room with 3 dead elves for probably 10 minutes at least.
Oh yeah, they have no ears. Yeah, they're all mine. They're going in the bag.
Do I see him do this?
Sure. I mean, unless you're purposefully facing away, so you don't.
Okay.
I mean, certainly you would hear him trying to lift up the body that's floating just behind you to slice its ears off.
Giggling like a schoolgirl.
I'm just like, those damn pointy ears, I'll get them.
What is your name again, Peter? Kajika?
Kajika.
Kajika. Yeah, I'm curious to know how Kajika responds to Helwyr's mutilation of these elves.
I'm curious how the torch responds.
So yeah, I will stop. I'll turn around because I hear this horrible hacking and cutting, and as Helwyr exits, I grab him by the arm and say, "You need to sharpen that blade. Those things won't be worth nothing."
Yes, I had to use it on that damn tree outside.
Cut the tree down, yeah.
I forgot about the tree.
Yeah.
I was very upset about it. my damn Fortnite X's.
I cut this tree down. Oh, there's stairs over there.
Now I know how Elmorn feels when he made that shelter.
Are they back down?
Yeah.
All right. Then I guess I'll just ask it. Are there any more of these prisoners we must escort? It is eating into our valuable time.
You're asking Thonot?
I'm just asking so that whoever can answer.
And T-Hole like looks at Thonot, kind of the expectation that he should answer, or if he can.
Yeah, he's parsing through some of that sentence. Eating into our valuable time he does not understand. Since time can't be eaten.
Are there any more prisoners on this floor?
Not on this level. There are hopefully some below. Some of them would have been killed to be fed in the hatchery. Many were probably killed for the delight of Karahul.
Mind flayers do like killing people.
Nobody said anything about a hatchery. No.
What is the hatchery?
Karahul captured a reptile woman. She is capable of laying a great quantity of eggs. He is hoping that it will become the basis of a new thrall army.
Is he saying that in his
He's saying that in his language to you.
I relate. I
Yeah, we
relay
could
that
just
information.
yeah, we could just assume you relay everything if that's what you want to go with.
I prefer to say it every time.
Okay.
Yeah, just in case T-Hole puts his own spin on it. So I'm going to relay that information.
He says the reptile is a queen of her lizard man tribe.
Seems like we have bigger problems. I think we need to take care of Carol Houle sooner than later.
If there are no more innocents to protect, then certainly let's be on our way to deal with this monster.
There are none, at least on this level.
There are more below, hopefully.
Yeah, and then there are more below. So so hopefully we can help them down there.
Can we just kind of fast travel?
Yeah, so you make your way back to the room with the sarcophagi in it and the stairwell down, and you proceed to go down the stairwell. As you go, you can see there are even more carvings on the way down. They're more damaged than the ones you've seen up top, but one of them catches the eye of Hellweir, and I have to send Hellweir something. The image you see that Hellweir clearly is drawn to is the image of what looks like an elf standing next to a giant boar, a boar that's at least as tall as the elf himself. And I will, I'll email you something, Brendan.
That was me in a dream.
Yeah, which one are you?
I rather not retell, but in my dream I am this blasted elf.
That sounds like a nightmare to me.
Perhaps in a former life you were an elf.
No, this damn triangle has cursed me with some sort of vision.
Was this the dream that you had before?
I've had lots of dreams since then.
All of them unpleasant, I'm sure.
Yes.
But making your way down the rest of the way, there's still the salty smell of the temple above. It subsides a bit the lower you go, but you begin to see more and more cracks forming in the stone and the walls, and you can feel that the stairwell itself is decidedly leaning a little bit of an angle relative to what it probably stood at once upon a time. As you get to the bottom, you can feel it's very cold down here, and the water is filled with a fairly deep, or the bottom is filled with a fairly deep layer of water. At the one end of the wall, it's probably about a foot deep, but at the deeper end off to the west, it's about 4 feet deep. The room seems to have been created in just solid limestone, and you probably descended 40 or 50 feet below the level above you, so you're probably actually below the level of the swamp at this point. There's a hallway that leads to the south.
There's something of value down here. I must collect it.
What is that?
You will know when we see it. It will stand out.
I'm missing my torch. I can't see.
Unless anybody has a burning desire to take the lead, I'll take the lead.
You can always, under player characters in the journal tab, one of the player characters is the torch, since he rolls so many dice. And so you can drag and drop the torch onto the map.
Okay. We had 2.
Yeah, well,
There we
T-Hole
go.
probably had one.
Oh shit! No, we got 3.
I can tell
Three.
you
Woo.
Okay, cool. Give me that.
So-
That's mine.
So if I'm not seeing anything,
you should be seeing something.
a black
Oh, I know why. I actually I think I put you. I think I put you in the wrong layer. So that's why you can't see.
Ah,
You were in the secret DM layer. So before you wander around too far, you come to a 4-way junction. What's everyone's perception scores?
Like
Passive,
Yeah.
14.
11.
16.
15.
12.
Whoa.
You can see that whoever had the 16 or higher can
Evil.
see that off to the east, the passage gets increasingly filled with water. It just gets deeper and deeper as you go that way. Off to the west, there's a stairwell rising up. Up to the east, where the water's getting deeper, high up on the wall, there's a slight imperfection that suggests that there's a secret panel.
When you say east, is this like, does this room have like an alternate compass? Like, are we facing
I assume north is up.
right now?
I assume north is up.
Okay. Okay, because then the east
So,
would be
right.
the stairwell.
Right. So, and then I just reversed everything. So, it is
Yeah.
the secret door you think is here.
Okay.
I like this peeing ability.
There may be a secret door. So I see the panel here.
No, right here.
Okay. So I'm gonna go and investigate the panel.
Okay. You definitely find that there's a secret panel there that slides out of the way. And
Oh.
Thonot immediately says, "Do not go that way. That leads to the hatchery."
sounds like a shooting gallery to me.
How do you know that this goes to the hatchery?
I've been down here many times. I know all the rooms.
Well, I would hate to go to the hatchery right now.
I think it best to visit the hatchery after we've dealt with this Karahul.
Yes, most definitely.
Perhaps we should block this entryway off somehow. Anybody have a method for doing that?
No.
Well,
And everybody make me a perception check.
Bum, bum, bum.
hey,
So Zarius and Kajika, you, as you're having this discussion, both hear a sound that sounds like somebody sharpening a sword.
which direction? Can we tell?
It's a little hard to tell because of the echo, but you're thinking it probably came from up the stairs.
Everyone, silence. There's a
I'll
noise
bet-
from up the stairs.
And then a second later, you hear it again. It's not very loud, but it's definitely metal being sharpened.
And it's not Hellware sharpening his blade like I told him.
Oh no, he's definitely just counting his ears. I mean, look at that perceptions roll. He's either counting his ears or picking his belly button.
Scratching his crabs. Oh wait, that's a different character. Sorry.
Maybe we perhaps it'd be worth investigating. Although I don't think Karahul would have any use for a sword.
Could be those
Maybe-
skeletons.
Or it may be some of the prisoners down here trying to escape somehow.
Ask
Worth
the
checking out.
Quagoth.
Yeah, ask the Quagoth. Do you know what's up here?
Some ceremonial statue that Caragul had defaced. He kills a lot of his victims in here. He may have some thralls nearby, but it's not as if that noise is constant.
What does the statue look like, Quagoth?
Do not say elves. We do not have time for a distraction.
It used to look like a bearded elf.
What did I just say?
We must destroy it.
Now. Who can stick to the shadows best? Perhaps it is better to just see what is up there. And if it is thralls, it is not. We should not engage them. We could potentially save them if we just focus on Carahul.
Well, definitely not T-hole. Not my bones are too creaky.
I walk with a limp.
Yeah, you would know that Kajika means he who walks silently, if that's helpful.
So I imagine, because we all know each other, everybody would just immediately look at Kajika.
Boy, I wonder who can move quietly.
I guess so. Which way am I going?
Up the stairs in the
Okay, over here.
Yep.
So you want me to roll stealth?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if I can do this correctly.
Ah, nice.
Bum, bum, bum! Even with disadvantage, you would have owned that roll.
And he does not have disadvantage.
I think I would.
Actually, he cannot have disadvantage on this. But so as you creep up the stairs, you can, in your nose, you begin to smell and almost taste the metallic tang of blood. And that kind of hits you even before you get into the room. To the one side, you see there's a towering statue of some humanoid. It has a beard, but the face has been largely destroyed. It might have been an elf, given what Thonat said, but something, probably someone with a big hammer, has struck it enough to deface all of the features off the head, except for the very tips of the beard. Around it are an uncountable number of bodies in various states of decay. You can see two elves are just in front of the statue. They've been freshly killed. Their jaws have been removed, and you can see are just scattered at their feet. It appears as though some similar fate probably befell all of the bodies around the statue, although each seems to have died in its own way. There's a stone bridge that crosses the center of the room. You're essentially standing at the top of that bridge. It's about 10 feet from the floor below it. You can see there appears to be a lot of blood on the bridge itself, and it might be a bit slippery to walk across the surface of it. At the south end of the chamber, you can hear that's where the sound of the sharpening steel is coming from, as there are a few blank-eyed half-elves sitting there, one of whom is sharpening the blade of an axe. Then you see the three are just sitting there staring vacantly as they eat what looks to be nothing more than a plate of green mold.
Now, are they across the bridge, or are they at the
They're
table?
down on the floor. The floor is 10 feet below the bridge.
Okay.
And they're down here.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So, do they look like those that were in the catatonic state, or are they just kind of?
They don't look like they're in the same catatonic state. Those people were kind of softly weeping. These people just look blank-eyed. You've not seen anybody in this particular state, but you do see one of them is trying to hone the blade of his axe.
Okay. All right, so scoot back down. It appears we got a lot of bodies in this room and one fella sharpening an axe.
Well, there's no need to bother them. I think we should continue.
Yes, unless the Quagoth says that we need to go that way to get to Carahul. Hopefully that's not the case.
Do you know which way it is to Carahul?
As I said before, I don't know where Carahul is down here. He's either in the meditation chamber or he's in the chapel. Either way, we will have to cross that room, either over the bridge or through the door next to where the table is.
Does Carahul know that you have defied him?
If he does, he has not sought me out.
T-Hall, what has he said? Which way do we need to go?
We need to go through the we need to go through that room. Either way.
Is there no way around?
Apparently not to the meditation room nor to the chapel where Carahul maybe is likely to spend his time.
Good. I wouldn't mind killing a couple more elves.
What lies in these? I turn to him and say, what lies in these other directions?
To the west is the corridor that leads to the hatchery. South of us, there is another torture chamber. The corridor then turns, headed towards the east, where it opens up in the dining area.
So I'm going to relay that information.
Can I ask you, my companions, if we need to fight thralls? They are not under their own wits. It would not be right to kill them. We at least just take them out of the fight without wounding them mortally.
Fine, I will cut off both their legs and arms.
I think they may need those at some point, Helwyr.
That is likely to cause the mortal injury, which he protests.
I will do as much as I can to not deal mortal damage to them. However, I cannot guarantee that no thralls will die because we cannot guarantee what stands before us.
I understand that it is not easy to ask this of anybody because nobody knows how the course of battle may go. But still, I just feel the need, especially Helwyr's indiscriminate need for bloodlust. I just ask that we at least be mindful that these are not people who are under their own power. I doubt they would choose to face us in battle if they had the opportunity to make a choice.
You're right. People aren't really all that interested in fighting their beloved emperor.
And how could they?
Exactly.
So can I peek around the corner? Is that dude still sharpening that blade?
Yes, he is.
Okay, and there's him and 3 others?
Yep.
All right, so I pull out my pistol as this conversation's going on, and I try to pick that first one off who's sharpening his blade.
Yeah.
Do you have a silencer on this thing? Or is it ringing throughout this
Oh, it's ringing.
chamber?
Okay, so
Bells on.
they will definitely be surprised, but roll initiative.
So will everybody else.
I'll take it.
Where are we at? Oh, there we go. Oh, dang it. Hold on.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Forgot to actually.
Oh no, I didn't click my damn token.
Oh, that's even worse. Fuck.
That's all right. I have advantage. So
Oh,
Aw, man.
that's like the. Did I get the 14? No, I don't. Damn it.
Low initiative all night. I'll be right back real quick.
Well, Hellweir is first.
Did it still not take mine?
Oh, did it not take yours? So select the token, and
Okay,
then
so am I putting it like on the character, on the picture face?
yeah, so that you can see the bubbles above it, and then click
Okay.
initiative.
Well, thank God.
There
That
you
was
go.
much
You're
better.
first. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're surprised and can't really take an action this round, and you can go first.
Okay. Yeah. I pull out my pistol and shoot.
This is the one with the axe.
Yep.
And you hit.
Okay. Let's see.
Kajika, can you move your token up into the room?
Maybe. Can I
You're-
use?
Right now, he's peeking around the corner to shoot, so it's sort of appropriate where he is.
Okay.
I have action surge, right?
Yep,
Can I use that? And would I get one more shot? Two.
you get one more shot.
Okay, I'm gonna use action surge. Take another shot.
And that's also a hit. So you ping her twice. She doesn't look surprised, but they don't look like they're in any position to like leap up from the table and attack this round.
Okay, so I just shoot around twice and then duck back behind the corner.
Okay. Lucirosi.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right.
And before you get there, when you get to here, that's when you see the whole bridge is covered in blood. Make me an acrobatics check.
Yeah, I would have said, watch out for the blood there.
Whee!
Awesome.
And one or two, I'm just figuring out which side of the bridge you fall on. One or two, you fall to the north. No, you fall to the south. So you splat onto the floor prone here.
So you drop the torch, or
Well, he has
I'm
dark-
not
he has
carrying
dark
a torch.
vision.
Yeah.
It was T-Hole who needs a torch.
okay, here you go.
All right. So there are people here though on this side.
Yeah, there's 4 people seated at the table. All
Okay.
half elves.
So then I'll use my action to stand up.
That's half your movement.
Yeah. And then I'll kind of just position myself as a target. I'll just be like or whatever. Battle roar. Rawr, since I'm a lion.
No, man, we need you to scare your fucking cat right now.
What?
I said, no, man, we need you to scare your fucking cat right now.
Where is
Right.
she?
Let's
No.
hear it.
And your neighbors.
Yeah.
Ah! She gives no fucks.
So Hellweird's turn.
So I would walk up to the bridge. And which side has got the most people on it?
The only living people are on the south side of the bridge.
I would just jump down there.
Okay, where did you start?
I started here. So in the center of the T section, yeah.
Yeah, so you can basically just about make it to there.
He doesn't have to do an acrobatics check?
No, that's true. You absolutely do.
Oh, I
Make an
do?
acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
Come on, fall on top of Lucharosa.
God
Okay.
damn it.
So yeah, you're able to make it there without falling. You jump down.
Yeah. And how far away are they from me? Can I hit anyone from here?
No, they're all just slightly. They're basically 10 feet away.
Well, yeah, I'd just wait here. I'd hold my action to attack when they get close.
Okay. So they all are surprised, so they basically just lose their turn. Zarius.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, I mean, can I tell that it's going to be slick and difficult to move across?
You're not looking for it, so
Sure.
make me a perception check with disadvantage, I guess.
All right.
2 people did fall, so
I might have
person
heard it.
fell. Yeah,
God damn it.
you're not aware.
Alrighty. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Do I make it now?
Now you make your acrobatics check.
All right. -1. Hey. all right.
Hey.
Where am I going?
That's it.
You fall over here. Oops. Where'd you go?
Oh, you're on the corpses.
Yeah, you fall on the side with the corpses. You see,
All
it
right,
is
all right.
hollow. It is hollow under the bridge, so you can run under it.
Okay. I just I'm just imagining what's going through Kojika's mind right now. Just people running past me. I mean, I don't have to get up because I mean most of my movement was spent getting here, so
Right, so you probably don't have half your movement to get up.
Yeah. These bodies over here, quick glance, they don't look like they're excited to see me down here.
They're not moving yet, but maybe they're surprised.
Maybe.
Well, if that's the case, then I shall use this ability. Eyes of the Grave, sense if there are any undead around.
What's the range on that?
Let's see here. I'm looking 60 feet.
Yeah, you don't sense any undead.
It's an action to do that, so alrighty. I'm not gonna. I don't think I have much for bonus action.
You're just gonna play dead. Got knocked off the bridge.
Yeah, seems a thing to do, I guess. There's nobody to spare from dying at the moment, so yeah, that'll be my turn.
T-hole.
All right, Teal's gonna move up 5, 10, 15. Now, do I see the fate that has befell my companions?
Make me a perception check at disadvantage. You did hear a little yelp from Lucharosi as he went over the side.
And probably a large crash whenever Zarius went down.
Yeah. So as you're running up, you look and see that there is some blood smeared along this top of this bridge.
So T-Hole's gonna go prone and move 5 feet. So just
ending where?
there.
Okay.
So he's prone.
Because his acrobatics are he's not a very spry person.
Old age does get to you after a while. So
Yes, it does.
that'll be
My turn. Well, can I hold my action part? The action after I've taken a move action?
You can ready an action to do something.
Okay. So if the people become hostile, I am going to ready Thunderwave.
Okay. Thunderwave might not work from where you are
Oh, okay.
without hitting somebody in your party.
Okay.
'Cause you've got people on like 4 sides of you.
Gotcha. All right, never mind. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use True Strike on Hellweir.
Okay. Zarius already went. So Thonot will move up. He can't quite make it onto the bridge without ending in somebody's square, so he's going to hold there. Lucirosi. Or I'm sorry, Kishika.
It's a torch.
How does the one look that I hit? Can I tell?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. Insight check. How insightful am I?
You can tell that he's not severely injured yet, but it was a pretty good hit on him.
Okay.
He could probably take, a couple more rounds like that.
So Lucirosi and Hellweir and Zarius all went in the room and bit the dust on the bridge, right?
Only 2 of them fell. Hellweir ran across the blood and then jumped down.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So if I go around the corner and try to use my scatter gun, am I going to get Hellweir?
Yes.
He's tough
And-
enough; he can take it. So I'm
and-
gonna
I can take a
Depending on where you are, if you fire from where you are, you'll get Lucirosi and Hellweir.
Well, I don't know about Lucirosi. I don't know how these creative races are kind of soft, so I got to be careful. So I'm going to try to avoid Lucirosi and Hellweir's tough. He can take it.
Yeah, I'll take a shot. So good.
It's all good. All right, so that's what I'm going to do.
So are you moving first?
Yeah, I'm going to move. I guess I move my little guy out there like that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, you can't fire from there because there's somebody in that space. You'd have to move.
Okay, literally in that spot, so I got to go past him.
Yeah, he's prone, but T-Hole is laying there in front of you.
I like to believe that you're using him as a human bridge to get over the blood.
Make me an acrobatics check. You can have advantage, but if you use the advantage roll, it means you stepped on T-Hole to get a firm footing.
If you're going to be Emperor, you got to be tough. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And then he drops a thunder wave on us all.
You were actually able to maintain your footing without treading upon the old man.
If I had to, I'd do it.
T-Hole understands.
He's stepped on a few people in his time.
All right.
So-
So
With the scatter gun, you basically make one attack roll,
okay.
and it'll just hit all 4 of them and Hellweir, or at least it'll be against their armor class. It's with disadvantage against these 2 guys in the back because they're outside your close range.
Okay.
That's enough to hit them all anyway.
Nice.
That motherfuckers.
So there is a blast and a spray of shrapnel coming from this gun of his.
It sounds just like that.
Yeah.
How
Shudder
much
to
damage?
think
Just
what,
6? Okay.
What's on its way here?
Well, actually, technically, you take. I'll say you just take the 6. Technically, it's double damage to anybody who's adjacent to him.
Oh, okay.
I have to subtract from everybody. Okay. And are you staying there? Or are you going to move?
Let's see. You know, it's getting kind of. Oh, let me just move 1 square over. Make sure I'm in. Is that other guy, the main guy with the axe, right here, like down here somewhere?
This was the person with the axe.
Good. I'm in direct line of sight. Yeah. I'm just like staring him down. Come at me, big boy.
Lucharosi.
All right. So, do any of these guys actually look like they're getting ready to attack us?
It's a little hard to say because they're so blank faced and they're still seated. They didn't get to react last round. You definitely have their attention, and make me an insight check.
All right.
I mean, you kind of get the same vibe from them that you got from the townspeople who were attacking you in Bogtown.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll move right here because we got this guy right here, right?
Yep.
And then I'm gonna hold my action until he actually attacks. And then once he does that, I'll unleash my attack on him.
Okay. Hellweir.
After getting blasted with shrapnel, I'm like, oh, these fairy folk are gonna get it. And I run over to the closest one and smack him with my greatsword with advantage.
Yep, that hits with advantage.
Cool. I'm
because
gonna
of the gun
do
strike.
the push attack as well on the guy, so I can push him into the person who is sharpening his sword. Can I do that? they have to do
No,
a s-
because it's this person who was sharpening. They all have axes, by the way, but
Oh,
this
right.
person was sharpening the axe. This was the closest person who you said you were attacking.
Oh, I meant this. Oh, hang on. I thought this one would have been closest because Lucharosi was in the way.
I assume you just got up to the edge of the table, but you could attack either one.
I'm gonna go this side. Yeah, and just where I can't even see them. Where is the? Throw me a torch, people.
Yeah, sure. It's probably dim light where you are.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, so there's a guy right there. Okay. Yeah, so I want to push attack him into the other person.
Okay, he is seated, so I guess make your check with disadvantage.
He has to do a strength saving throw.
Okay, I guess I'll just give him
he could
advantage
be-
then.
Yeah.
Lower center of gravity.
Oh, I'm trying to roll for the torch for some reason. What's the check?
It was 15 strength save.
Okay, so you push him into the other guy. He's prone on the ground.
Cool. And I run over to him now that he's prone and drop my greatsword into him.
Didn't you already use a greatsword attack? Do you get 2?
Oh, I've got extra attack, yeah.
And then you did a shove, so that's a second
Oh,
attack.
no. The push attack doesn't count. It expends.
That's a maneuver.
Yeah, it's a maneuver, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that hits.
Yeah. And does he look fucked up?
Yeah, he looks pretty fucked up after that.
All right, I'll drop a fist into him as well. Just for
It's a good measure.
yeah, just to make sure.
Just for gits and shiggles.
Okay.
That's been done.
This person you just hit gets up using half his movement. Everybody gets up from the table. Well, they do. The one that's right next to Lucia Rossi is going to attack Lucia Rossi, so you can take your attack against her.
Okay.
That hits. And it makes a save. So made the save.
All right. Now, do I just get my 1 attack, or do I get all my attacks?
You can take all your attacks.
All right. So close to. Wait a minute. That is Oh, never mind. All right. So they got to roll another.
No,
save.
once they make their save, they're immune to the effect for 24 hours.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind. And then follow up with we'll go with prayers.
A 10 misses.
All right. I'm not invested enough to use my channel divinity, so I'll keep it there.
Okay. And then she is going to attempt to hit you with her axe. I'll assume that's a no.
Yeah, it's a miss.
The guy next to her gets up and backs up from the table and has a javelin handy. So he flings a javelin at Hellweir.
It's a hit.
This guy who you punched and stabbed will try to hit you with his axe. Did that not take?
That's a hit.
And then the one who was sharpening his axe is going to move up. He'll try to hit you. He doesn't want to swing up it.
Oh,
Crit.
man.
That's a hit.
So that's,
Is that a crit? Hold on.
that is a crit. It's 24 points of damage.
I'm gonna.
How much? Sorry?
24.
That's 24?
Ability. Hold on.
No, I'm sorry. It's not 24. It's 27.
27?
Yes.
Hold on. I have an ability. Give
Am
me
I
a
getting
second.
fucked up by elves here?
By half elves.
What the fuck?
You can pretend it's the human half.
No, I'm gonna use the Stone's Endurance. I'm gonna drop 12 of them. Hopefully,
No.
we'll have a look.
Hold on.
Well,
Oh, hang
wait to
on.
see what
Hang on. Yeah, sorry.
I gotta find it. Hold on. There it is. Sentinel of Death's Door. I'm gonna make it just a regular attack, not a crit.
Okay, so it only does 15 actually.
I still use Stone's Endurance.
Okay.
There we go. It does no damage.
Okay. So that's their attacks. Everybody make me a perception check.
Perception.
Oh, Jesus.
Lucia Rossi, you're sure you hear the sound of like feet moving elsewhere, like running. Possibly because somebody set off a gun.
Yeah, most likely.
Preposterous.
I'll look back at the others and I'm like, prepare for reinforcements. Thanks, Kajika.
Hey, what happened to my torch?
You can bring out another one. So either T-Hole or Zarius, either one of you can go.
How high up is that bridge?
It's 10 feet, but there's spaces underneath it.
Yeah.
So you can cross under it.
Well, you need a duck.
I very well might have to duck, yeah. Well, I'd rather not deal with fucking... Oh, yeah, I guess I'll stand up. So that's half my movement there. And then... yeah, I mean, it's no love lost for me if they die, really. So I'm going to use Toll the Dead on the closest one that I could see that has clearly been hit.
Yeah, they've all been hit at this point by Kajika.
Okay, you're the closest one to me. Then.
Okay, then that would be this one.
Wisdom save.
Okay, let me see.
Wow, that's a loud dong.
That's a lot of damage. Shit.
It failed.
Oh,
That's
dong.
22. That's vibrating his innards right there.
Man.
And down the holes.
You can see there is clearly now blood coming out of her nose, but she doesn't drop over.
Okay. I'll move over here. I'll take a quick glance at this body here.
It's no one you would recognize.
Is that a sword there?
Yes, it is.
Does it look like a fancy sword or not?
No, it looks like a fairly rough sword.
Okay. Alrighty.
You would guess it's the sword that was used to cut her jaw off.
Sure. I have zero desire to use any spells if I can help it, so I shall rest here then. I'll just stay here.
Okay. T-Hole.
All right. Nope, I didn't mean to do that.
Quick question. Which one did I hit?
What?
You had hit the one that's right below Kajika, the one who was sharpening her axe.
That one?
Yep.
Alrighty.
So Teal's going to move 5 feet.
Still crawling.
Still crawling. So I can't get around Kajika. So I'm gonna stand.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast a magic missile at the 3rd level at the one standing on the table.
Okay.
So that's 15 force damage. Because the higher level cast is actually the top one.
Yeah, that's right. So these multiple darts come flying out and slam into her. You can see she's in pretty bad shape.
Cool. And I get a 2nd level spell slot. And then I guess that's my that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Thonot comes charging in and may fall.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nope, Thonot's fine.
Too bad.
Thonot will leap down and claw at the woman next to him. Hits the second time. And you see waddling around the corner.
Hold on.
Mike may be in trouble.
The cat complained. The cat's out of the bag.
The
So you
cat
see-
suddenly showed up with a tongue. Sorry.
You see up on the other side of the bridge, there's another set of stairs that lead down. And you see a form appear. And you, who immediately sees you and what's going on, and turns around and screams, "Intruders!" And you recognize her immediately.
Who is she?
Gruzza.
Oh, Gruzza.
Oh boy.
She runs off into the darkness.
Magic missile into the darkness.
And it's Kajika's turn again.
Intruder! How'd you get in here? Intruder window. Wait.
So how's this one who we've been fighting in front of me look?
The one that's between you and Thonot is not looking so good. The other one doesn't seem to be that damaged yet.
Okay, so the one right in front of me, since I'm standing on the bridge, and I'm going to just jump down, boot to the face.
Okay.
Unarmed strike.
Oof.
Oof.
So she's still up, but she's in very rough shape now.
Okay.
We'll say you're here.
Oh yeah, thanks.
So is
He's
that it, or
flipped.
are you doing something else?
I have a sneaky suspicion that there's going to be more, so I'm just going to save some of my other actions.
Okay. Lucia Rossi.
All right. These two are still up.
Yes, they're all still up at this point.
All right. So I'm going to move one right here. I'm going to do my first attack here. Is that a hit?
That's a hit.
Okay. So 13 damage total to her. She's still up.
Pretty rough shape, but she's still up.
Then next hit is going to be at that guy.
That's a hit. Let me see if he makes a save. He does. They're getting lucky on the saves. But
And
they're
then-
-1. But
And final one is going to be with my bonus action right there. We're going to go with thoughts this time.
and without so much as a sound leaving her lips, she just crumbles and rolls under the table.
All right. I'm hoping to do non-lethal damage if possible.
Oh, okay.
So
I forgot which of the characters this was. So she still rolls under the table.
Okay. And then that's my turn.
Hellware.
So the one which is looking near death, I'm gonna try and cleave in two.
Okay.
I don't think is that a hit?
11 is not. No.
Can I use an action point on that?
Yep. That's a hit.
Are they dead?
That person is dead. Assuming you're not trying for non-lethal damage.
No, that's lethal all the way.
God
And then-
or Asheros, curse you, Hellweir. We're trying not to kill them.
She got in the way of my sword. Now I use second wind. So 1d10 plus my fire level. Plus 4. Oh, look at this! I'm all over it today. And then I'm going to grapple this one here.
Okay.
And I'll just do an athletics against it.
I'm going to give it to her. She tied you on a nat 20.
Boo!
Oh, she beat you on a nat 20.
All right.
Lucia Rossi is going to say to Hellweir, if one more of these thralls falls to your sword, you will no longer receive the healing blessing of Asheros from me.
I don't take notice. I'm too busy trying to wrestle for strength with this lady, apparently.
You're trying to focus on two things at once. You're like, wait a minute, what'd he say? She took advantage.
It's too bad there's no bed in this room because I just throw her around the room like I did that, like I did that barbarian woman.
So she sees that you're trying to grapple her. She is going to try to hit you.
She hit. Oh my gosh, she hits. Okay, yeah.
These other two, or this one, the one still conscious near Lucia Rossi, is going to try to hit him with his axe, but no good. You can still hear the sound of feet in the distance. It's not clear at the moment that they're getting all that close to you. But it's T-Hole's turn.
All right. Teal's gonna try to move forward to about
Now
here.
you're standing though, so give me an acrobatics check.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. Oh.
So you hear, "Ah!" and you fall and you hit yourself on the flat of the bridge, and then roll off into Zarius, who manages to just about dodge you. And you land prone there.
Did he break a hip?
Which one of us?
So wait, I fell and then slid like 10 feet back.
Where were you? I thought you were here.
Well, I
right
guess
here.
I started here and I was trying to move to here.
Right. So you basically started to walk forward and then fell.
Okay.
I mean, you could pick any square adjacent to Zarius. You want to be in. You managed to direct your fall like an emperor.
Perfect. I'm sold.
Fall with grace.
So I'll use half my movement to get up then.
Okay, you're up again.
And let's see, 5, 10, 15 here. So kind of shaking it off, I'm gonna cast a firebolt at at the lady on the table and finish the job.
Okay, she's unconscious and under the table now.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't see the.
He got blasted to hell.
It would be super funny if you shot her anyway.
Yeah, go on.
Well,
Go ahead.
T-Hole.
There are two still conscious though.
T-Hole did make a promise that he wouldn't use excessive force.
Her and then
And a good emperor doesn't kill his subjects.
Yes, not often. Only when they displease them. So he'll try to just shoot kind of. I guess I can't really see the one past Lucirosi, so I'll try to shoot this one.
Okay. 22 hits. And she's in pretty bad shape after that.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay.
This one right here. Do I think that I could get her with a spare the dying, and she technically still be alive?
I would say yes.
Alrighty. I will use a bonus action to cast Spare the Dying. And then, just so that you have that.
So she's stable and not dying anymore.
Yep. And then there are 2, right?
Yeah, there are 2 still up.
Okay. This one is hurt pretty bad.
Yes, very bad.
And this one is what?
Not bloodied.
Okay. I'm going to hold my action for whenever this one goes down, and I'll cast Spare the Dying as a main action.
Okay.
And very while Lucirosi doesn't say anything, he thinks Zarius is the reason that he doesn't actively seek the destruction of the corrupted.
Donut is going to leap up on the table and run around to attack this woman. Missing and missing.
Even with the flank?
Donut try. I don't play with the flanking rule.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, Donut's just going to stay there. It's Kajika's turn again.
Do I notice Zarius doing Spare the Dying? Do I notice what that is?
There's verbal and somatic components involved.
Yeah, you
Maybe
know
doing something.
Yeah. I mean, give me an insight check. It shouldn't be that hard. Make it DC 12. Yeah, so you realize that when he cast that he prevented this woman from dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to imagine it's like a sort of gray, like a translucent sheet fell over her, and she kind of started breathing a little easier again.
That's a really cool way to think of the spell. I like that.
And this one, okay. So I see that happen, and I just kind of shake my head and then go to punch the shit out of this other one. Because eventually he's going to run out of spells.
Eventually.
I mean, maybe not that spell, but that hits.
Okay. And then does it go down or still up?
No, she's still up.
Well, I got to think Hellware's got to take care of this. So I'll use my action, jump on the table, and see if I can get to this. Is there another one down here?
Yeah, here.
Yeah. So I'll use the table as the high ground.
Okay. Are you attacking again?
No, I'd have to use
Oh,
action point or
command
key or
point.
something. I'm not gonna use that.
Okay, Luciorosi's turn.
All right. First attack.
That hits.
Second attack.
That also hits.
Still up.
Yep.
And then prayers.
Dunk.
And
So knock him twice with my mace and then dunk him with my fist to just knock him out.
Yep. You knock him out.
you punch his head off.
Hellwar's turn.
All right, let's go. Great sword swinging. This is the one which was just got bonked by. Yeah. Is it still standing?
Yes, still standing.
Okay, let's go again. What about now?
So you are able to drive your sword into her side, and you're sure you killed her, but then you hear some chanting.
I'm like, I look around and I'm like, this one's still breathing, and I punch it in the face.
And-
Do you want me to do it? It's a hit. Can't really miss a downed opponent.
But she's fallen unconscious at your feet. And as she hits the floor and Thonot steps to her side, you begin to hear a rumbling. And suddenly, out of you see the
shit.
wall begin to crack.
That's awesome.
What the fuck?
And through the wall steps a large creature.
Oh shit.
Yes, this is so cool.
Clawing its way through the rock itself.
Jesus. Quack off, what the hell is that?
And the Quaggoth, not necessarily responding to you, says, "Oh no, Carol Cool's pet." And that's where we'll pick it up next time.
What a lovely pet.
Would any of us have any reason to recognize this thing for what it is?
Maybe. I mean, give me a nature check.
I'm not proficient, so I won't do it.
Oh, that's me. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, that's shit.
I'm also not proficient.
I got no nature.
A hermit which doesn't know anything about nature. Okay.
Well,
You were more of an urban hermit.
Urban hermit.
You just ordered everything off Amazon and never talked to anybody. Yeah, we'll hold it off there. We'll end on the cliffhanger of the Umber Hulk stumbling into the room.
Aww.
It'd
Ooh,
take a while to fight the Umber Hulk, I think.
oh yeah, I could see that being a good hour-long battle. Easy.
I mean, with my track record, I'm gonna get 3 crits on this guy, and I still have some spell slots for some Divine Smite. But
Well, I mean, you also still hear the footsteps in the back. So there are other creatures moving around, including Gruzza somewhere.
Wow. All right. That's cool.
Yeah. Awesome. It was fun. Thank you.
yeah.
All right.